Hello, and welcome to this little training session that's going to be about embedding a live Google Sheet into your Sakai site. My reasoning behind learning how to do this or figuring out how to do this was that I wanted to see, number one, if I could do it, and Google integration is going to be coming really hard inside of Sakai 19 that will roll out next year. So, one of the nice things about Google Tools is everything all the way across it, right? So what I'm going to show you today is we have a sheet over here, and the reason I came up with this sheet is there are multiple reasons, but one of them is when you give a class, you can never have the assignment due dates or objective. They can never be too many of them, okay? One of the things I've noticed in all my years is no matter if I had the due date right here and I had it on the assignment and I had it in the syllabus and I had it in wherever, 4 different spots, and I told it to you 6 times in person, somebody still out of my 150 students would send me an email and say so-and-so said this was due at this time. Who's right? You know, them or the 8 places you put it, Mr. Wheat? That's what they would say. So I would always say, well, that's why I put it in all these spots. So you could never have it in too many spots. So I made this tool over here as one of those, and this is just a helpful tool. For me, I used something like this when I was planning it out, and one of the things I like about this, for instance, this would be the master sheet, and it would be something I would give somebody if they wanted to use it. And I put a sample here if I was starting a class. One of the things I like about this is if I wanted to use this again in a different class, I could just make a copy of it, and then I would have the old one and the new one. And if you had all the same assignments and stuff, this is linked to the assignments. Changing the due dates is easy. You double click on that and change it. Then you can link all this stuff in here. So I work a lot out of the Google Drive. So the kids could go to, or the students could go straight to this. And not only would it go straight to it, well, sorry, I already own that one. But if they were to go straight to this, it would make them make a copy of it. Okay, because I have done this. Now that's for a different training session. But they can follow through to all these things. Now, I would show you how to do that later, but what I want to show you right now is how to get this into here. Now, what we need to do is we need to embed that. So I would use this as kind of my syllabus, not necessarily the end-all, be-all. I would have the rules and everything, but then as far as the course itself went, I could have this in there if I wanted to. And it's got the objectives on it. It's got the modules or weekly objectives and the weekly objectives, how they match up with the course objectives, etc., etc. So this one is a history course about the Civil War and resources during the Civil War. So how do I get that over here? And one of the reasons I wanted to do that was so that if I changed something in here, it would dynamically update. Let's say something didn't go to plan and I needed to change the due date on something. I could just change it right here and it would show up over here as well. I wouldn't have to do it in 2 spots necessarily. Now, if it was inside of the gradebook, we can't link to that yet. Maybe soon, someday. So how to get that over to here is we go to add item. Inside of add item, I would type in history 225, the Civil War. That's fine. Okay, so down here is where we need to work. We need to put an embed code inside of source. So we click on source and it gives us this screen. We need to put an embed code from this one so that it links up. So we go to file, publish to the web. Now this actually does publish it to the web. So it will be up for whoever. Now, I never minded that. Some people do, but it never bothered me, and we hit publish. Because if you want to know what's in my course and you want to learn it, then I want you to learn it too. That being said, you know, they wouldn't get credit for it or anything, but there's no secrets in here from me. If you do have secrets, then you couldn't do it this way. So we hit embed, we published it, we hit embed, and we get this code. We hit Control C on the code, And over here, we hit Control V. All right. We hit Add and Publish. And then we got it. Ooh, whoops, sorry. That's not what I wanted to do. Now, if you didn't, that was my bad. If you didn't want to, sorry. So we had to, my bad. I did that wrong. We had to actually go in there and insert the iframe. I added this part, but then I didn't go in and add it. So we added that embed code in there, and here's our map. We got a problem, though, that it is this little bitty map. Now, we can embed whatever we want in here, really. We could embed it with a link, or we can embed it with an iframe, or all sorts of stuff. I did an iframe here because I want it to be dynamic. If you wanted to use this over here as an Excel sheet and keep it locally, you could certainly do that. You would just go to File and Download as Microsoft Excel, and then you would keep it as an Excel sheet, and that would be fine. So this is too little, obviously. So we go to, goodness, or we click on it again so that it lets us change it. And right here, we right-click on the iframe and go to iframe properties. We'll set our width here to 1200 by 800 is probably about right, and hit the check mark, and then we have our course maps all pulled up. Not only that, but it is dynamically linked to the one that we have over here. So right now I do that. Now over here, let's do this, and we'll change it to I'll just put blah 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 in here and hit enter. Now that has gone there. Now this will not necessarily update immediately. It might take a second because it is it does have to fly through the air and go a million different places. However, within a short period of time, it will show up right here, and we'll show you how that works in a minute. Another reason I like it this way is because let's say you have your own site over here, like I have my own site named Tim Wheat, and if you wanted to check it out in however you want to check it out, you certainly can. So inside of this site, I have a whole bunch of pages. You can go to the home page, and we can go wherever we want to go. So right now, let's go to the Panopto page. In the Panopto page, what we want to do is insert a Google Sheet. The Bradley course map is the first one that I was using. We insert that, and inside of here, resizing is easy. You just grab it and drag it. And now, that same one is dynamically linked to right here. And when we publish it, publish it, it will work together with the other ones. And when we hit preview, it would be there, and the students could click through it, and you'll see this one's got blah 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 on it already because it's connected to Google, and we're connected. I've got this in 3 different spots now. My own personal spot, my own personal spot, as well as here in Sakai, as well as in here on the Panopto page, which is inside of my tech training screen captures Panopto. Because I'm using Panopto to do this, I just put it there for fun. Now over here, let's go like this and see if it updated that yet. It hasn't updated that yet, but it will eventually. Maybe if we go out of it and then go back into it, we'll have it. And not yet. Eventually, it will update this. So that is how you get a dynamically linked document from here to 2 different spots, there and there, so the students could see everything about the course that was inside of this map in both places. Enjoy.